Okay, you guys. I hope you guys are having a blessed day. It is 7:16 here in Florida, and I'm going to try to get all this done tonight so that you guys can hear it tonight because I believe it's very, very important information. Um, I'm going to start with Colleen's dream about the wall and also about the dreamers. Okay, we'll go there first. Let's see here. Now, this is going to be probably 2 videos, perhaps 3. I am going to try to do this as fast as I can because I have a lot of information here, you guys. Okay, so her dream was Theo, which is a gift from God. Okay, my 2-year-old grandson, well, he's my daughter's foster child that she is trying to adopt, walked up to me and his mom. Her name is Summer. Now, we've already established about the fig tree in the summer in one of the videos interpreting this dream, okay? If you will, if you haven't heard it, go back into part 1, 2, and I think 3, and this is part 4 now, okay, of Colleen's dream that I just interpreted for her. And he leaned against the wall, okay? So she says the 2-year-old grandson uh, that she's trying to adopt walked up to me and his mom, and her name is Summer, and he leaned against a wall. So we'll stop there because that's all we really need. Now, this is very important information in this dream because this dream, the wall, is very, very, very significant. And now I'm going to go to the other part that she had wrote me out after that, and she didn't know if it meant anything, that but she couldn't get it off of her mind. So she said that she, after the dreams that I just spoke of to you guys about the wall, then she put this, I think, the next morning or something like that. So she said, last time I had a dream that you had made a YouTube video on my dream and 2 other sisters' dreams. And I was watching the video. All I can remember is that you said something like, oh, and the key that brought all these dreams together was Latin. And then you show a map of Europe, and you continue to say, because it's all about this area over here. So this area over here in Europe, okay, and where Russia is and all those places over there, okay, it's about war, because Latin, I looked up Latin, and it is about war. Okay, and if you haven't seen that video, check that out because that'll be explained to you even better also. Now, now I'm going to go to the part where it's talking about the dreamers. Okay. And if you guys hear my neighbors next door arguing, I'm really sorry because they are arguing, but I needed to get this. They're young. They're young, they're in their 20s, and they're a boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're fighting. And I can't help that. I'm sorry, guys. The walls are thin. And but I had to get this out tonight because I think you guys need to hear it. So please, I'm going to try to talk over it so you guys can't hear. Hopefully they won't be using any words they ought not be using. Okay, so let's go to the government shutdown here. Well, anyways, let me get out of this and go back to something else. Here we go. Sorry. Okay, so in this particular information that I have here, it says Schumer, I put the wall on the table in my meeting with Trump, but he backed out of the deal. Okay, now you guys know that we had a government shutdown for I think 3 to 4 days, and it had to do with several different things. But one of the things it did have to do was the wall, because Mexico said they're not gonna fund building the wall. And then, all this is going on about this wall, okay? It says the federal government entered a partial shutdown at midnight. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said President Donald Trump agreed to a deal on immigration health care. Hold on, you guys. I have to scroll. And spending levels during a White House meeting Friday, but went back on the deal later in that day, according to Schumer. Democrats offered to give Trump funding for his long-promised wall along the Mexican border in a deal, including a solution for the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals DACA program. Now, this DACA program, the Child Arrivals program, is part of the immigrants. It has to do with the children, and so we'll go on. And this is called Dreamers. They're called Dreamers, you guys, and that's why I put that up about that she was making a video about a sister's having dreams. Okay, so Senate Minority Chuck Schumer said Friday that he offered to include funding for President Donald Trump's wall along the Mexican border as part of a deal to avoid government shutdown. During a speech on the Senate floor after the government officially hit a funding lapse, Schumer told members that a deal he offered to Trump would have given the president some funding for a long-promised wall in exchange for codification of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA, immigration program. The president rejected the offer, according to Schumer. In exchange for strong DACA protections, I reluctantly, he says, put the border wall on the table for discussion, Schumer said. Even that was not enough to entice the president to finish the deal. Okay. Let's see. Schumer said the meeting with Trump concluded with a rough outline of a deal on immigration, healthcare, and government funding. Multiple reports also indicated that Schumer offered not just wall funding, but the full amount of funding requested by the White House for defense spending. Okay, so there you have that. So there we have the Dreamers. That was her I believe, her dream about that. And you guys, I am so sorry about my neighbors. I just can't even tell you. I'm probably loud on this video because I am kind of trying to talk over them, and because yeah, they get pretty ugly over here. Anyways, oh my goodness. So I have a lot to tell y'all, but I'm gonna start there, and I'm gonna see if they quiet down a little bit. Maybe they are. Let's see. So we've got that. We've got that. We've got the government shutdown. The wall. Okay. So sounds kind of quiet. Okay, we're good. Now I'm going to go to some dreams that Amanda has had, and an audible that she's had. And Amanda and I do talk on the phone a lot, and I do interpret most of her dreams for her. I have, in the past here. Sometimes I don't get to her though before she makes the videos. She puts out the videos and then we talk. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I just think this is interesting information. And, like I said, we talk and we go over the dreams and this and that together. And, I have a lot of input and she has input, and we, figured this stuff out together. And so we'll go on here. She says and I'm just going to give you the particulars of these dreams, you guys. She says that the Lord gave her an audible in a dream, and says, if I was to show you a dream in the 50s, I'd show you a wall in Iraq. Okay. She said it was either Iraq or Iran, but she believes it was Iraq. And then she says, then she looked up wall in 50s and found this. So now I'm going to go to this so you guys can check this out. The July Revolution, also known as the 1958 Iraqi coup d'état, took place on 14th July 1958 in Iraq and resulted in the overthrow of the Hashemite monarchy, which had been established by King Faisal in 1921. So, well, I'll read on, okay? 1921, under the auspices of the British King Faisal II, Prince Abd al-Liah, and Prime Minister Nuri al-Said were killed during the uprising. The coup laid the ideological foundations of Iraq that were to last until 2003, with Iraq becoming a de facto Arab nationalist and socialist one-party state. Okay, so with that being said, there was a coup going on there. Okay, because that's what she looked up. That's what she found. And it was about a coup. Now, God will give us pieces and pieces and parts, and for us to put things together. So we'll get rid of that. So that had to do with a coup that she found, you guys, in the 1950s. And I also found something in the 1950s, and I'm going to get to that. That's going to be in part 2. Okay? And then she said, I had a dream of a man in the 50s that dropped a silver dollar. And he said, you can have all this other money, because he was just throwing money around, change on the floor. He just, here, you can have it. And he says, you can have all, wait a minute, you can have all this other money, but not my 3D silver dollar. Okay, so she looked up, hold on guys, sorry. Okay, so she looked up what the 3D silver dollar was, and she came across a particular coin that was called a Newman, and that was the first minted coin in the U.S. Okay, and it meant Newman. The name Newman means Adam, which means earth, which means clay. Okay, and so he says you can have you can have all the rest of this, but you cannot have my earth. Okay, so we'll go on. And then she also had a audible that America launders around daggers, which means war. And we know what laundering money means. You know, they're all making deals. They're all making deals behind closed doors, you guys. And she also had a dream that her finger was pushing around a silver dollar. And it was being pushed around where she said it went to a dime, into a quarter, and then to a silver dollar. And then I also had a dream about me swallowing a silver dime. It's in my library. You guys can check it out because I can't remember everything I said about it. But that her finger was pushing around a silver dollar around a map. It started from Russia, and then it went to Syria, and then it went to Iraq, and I'm not sure if she told me Turkey or not, okay? But then she said, I know for sure Israel. So my interp is this, okay? And there's another video coming because I'm going to explain some things to you about China and about North Korea, okay, and about Russia, and what I believe is going to happen, because she had another dream too, and I'm going to tell you what that is. But that'll be on my next video because this is getting long. So let's see. There are three possible walls: America's, the Syria wall. Because right now, as of yesterday, you guys, there has been the Turkey is attacking full out. Uh, they have sent over a full brigade, on foot, tanks, everything, into Syria yesterday. Big time. I mean, a lot of troops, you guys. And they are fighting the Kurds over there. Okay. And President Putin had a meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu, okay, yesterday. Now, I'm not putting all this in here. You guys can look up some of this stuff, if you want to, whenever, for yourselves. But this is going on right now, and this is a big deal. Big, huge deal, and I'll tell you why. Because the USA is funding the Kurds. Turkey already cannot stand the USA. And when we made Jerusalem capital of Israel, well, that made the Arabs mad, and that made Turkey mad, and a whole lot of other nations. Okay? So, I'm just putting this out here and telling you what's going on with everything, you guys. We're talking about nation rising up against nation. Okay, so let's go on here. Like I said, there's three possible walls here, and I'll tell you why in the next video. What I believe is happening here could happen. I'm just going to lay it on the line. I don't even need this piece of paper. Okay. What I believe is happening here is Biff in her dream, her 1950s dream, that coup that she was pointed to, the Iraqi coup. What I believe is going to happen is, because of the immigrants, because of the funding, because of the wall here in the United States of America, because of everything that's happening, people are trying right now to impeach President Trump. They want him out of office, and they want him out of office really, really bad. So what I believe is that there's going to be a coup. There's going to be a coup. I believe that there's going to be riots in the street here shortly. And worse than what's been, okay? And I believe they're going to try to impeach Trump. Now, this is just my opinion. And I believe that when that happens, he's going to say, nobody's going to take my Adam. You can have the rest of this stuff over here, but you're not going to take my earth. And we all know his personality. He's very strong-headed. I'll just put it that way. And I have a feeling, now I could be wrong, I have a feeling that he may start war to stay in office. Because that's the only way when you're trying to impeach a president. The only way that you cannot impeach them, period, is during a war. That's it. So anyways, I'm going to come back with part 2. The wall is significant in this dream. The dreamers are significant in this dream. All the audibles and dreams, and there's more. So stay tuned. That Amanda and I have had, and even Lashara, okay? All this, and Colleen, all this put together, like I said before, and we all keep saying it, you can't make this stuff up. There's no way. This is all very important information, and I believe it could be truth. So we're just going to have to see what happens, but I will be back with part 2 and more information. God bless each and every one of you.